Welcome to Coach's Roundtable. I'm Ed Cody. To my right, the Swami George Abraham. To my left, the Tiger Albert Campman. Let's go to Spotlight High School Baseball 6A WPIAL Championship. Pine Richland won its 6th WPIA title and 4th under Coach Kurt Wolf, beating Penn Trafford 7-2. Winning pitcher was 6'5" sophomore Tommy Brame. Wesley Boyd with 3 hits. Matt Wood with 2 hits and 2 RBI. He's their leading hitter, .476 average. All 9 Pine Richland starters hit 300 or better. Wolf, by the way, he's been there for all 6 championships. The first 2 as an assistant back when Neil Walker played. So they won all 6 of their championships in the last, 16 years. In the PIAA first round, Pine Richland.
They're not done yet. You know that. They're not done.
No, they're not done.
Oh, no.
No, they're not done. Forget about it. The new kids on the block have turned into a powerhouse on the block.
Yes.
Pine Richland 2, Manheim Township nothing. Winning pitcher Matt Shitroma, he went 6 innings. Josh Shear finished up in the 7th with the save. Pine Richland 19-4. NA 10, Erie McDowell 2. Freshman shortstop Cole Young, the Duke recruit, 3 for 3 with 2 home runs, 4 runs scored. NA now 18-6 as they move on to looking for maybe a rematch here with Pine Richland. In 4A PIAA, Newcastle that started off barely at 500. They advanced with a 1-0 win over Warren. Rocco Bernardina, a 4-hit shutout with 12 strikeouts. Newcastle now 12-10. 5A Consolation, Franklin Regional eliminated Mars 4-1. Mars finishes 12-10. And in
let me talk about that Newcastle for a second.
Sure.
As long as Rocco can pitch, Newcastle can win.
He's that
that's
good.
That's why they're 12-10. When he pitches,
they win.
They win.
When he doesn't pitch,
isn't that something? That's
You can't pitch Thursday.
You know, that's something else. In the old days.
Yeah.
In the old days, before all these
innings regulation, and
Newcastle could have won it all. They'd say, how they lose it? Because he kept pitching every game.
And they put those rules in just because of that. You need at least that 3-day rest after so many innings
pitches,
in between.
so many innings. Yeah, it's you know what I mean.
Let's face it, there were some coaches in the past that throw that arm until it would fall off.
I think they're thinking the kid will never pitch again. He's not going to college. He doesn't need his arm to.
Right. Well, where there was Miami University was well known. They would win championships, but boy, they would go right through those pitchers
Billy
like
Martin
nothing.
did in
They
the
would
pros.
be
Even the pros, right?
Bullpen
Oakland, yes.
Yeah.
In the 3A PIAA quarters, Freeport and star pitcher Jarrett Hallman, he entered the game with an ERA for the season of 0.15. They led District 10 champ Franklin 2-1 going into the 7th, 1 out away from ending Franklin's 20-game win streak when the Bulldogs rallied for a 3-2 win and a heartbreaking loss for Freeport. Hallman, he had 2 hits in the game, and Garrett Ben had 2 hits. Freeport 15-7. How about Hellman in the first round game? He pitched the Yellow Jackets to a 1-0 shutout win over Keystone Oaks. Braden Clark with the winning RBI. He had a fantastic season, 5-2, and an ERA of less than 2.
Franklin had to bring their star in to close it in the 7th.
Yeah, tough game to lose. Right there, you're playing a team 21-1, and you have them on the ropes 2-1. You need 1 out. How many times we've seen that happen?
Yeah. And one thing, there's no clock. You got to get that out.
You have to get the out.
That's why baseball's so great.
Trying to tell me closer, and I said, you don't know.
The last
3 outs.
You're leading in some good stuff today, Eddie.
Well, you wait till we get to that. I'm glad you mentioned
as
closer.
Coaches.
There's something going on.
As coaches. People have asked me before, would you rather lose that championship game by 25 or by 1? And I always tell them, 25. That means that team was just waiting. That 1 point, it goes through your mind 40 different things.
What if?
What can I do? Yes.
That's sometimes
so
in football, get that 1 stop.
That's all. 1 stop.
Don't get it. Basketball
changes everything.
Yes.
1 stop.
And we've been on both ends of those. Sometimes you win a game you thought you were going to lose, and you lose a game you thought you had in the bag.
Without a doubt.
2A District 9 championship, Montauk got a solo 7th-inning home run from Jared Leminski to beat Coudersport 5-4 for the District 9 2A title. pitcher Hunter Fitzingo. He went the distance with 10 strikeouts. He was also named the Keystone Athletic Conference MVP in the PIAA first round. Sarah Catholic 6 and Montauk 3. Hunter Fitzingo, he went the distance and took the loss. Gage Neal had 2 RBIs for the Warriors, who closed a great season at 17-6. High school softball 6A championship. During the regular season, North Allegheny defeated Hempfield twice, a couple of home runs by Rachel Martindale. One was a grand slam. In a championship game in the third meeting, the Spartans pounded the Tigers 15-0. Who saw that? Who saw that coming? Just a shocking loss when I saw that. And for Hempfield, it's their 5th straight WPL title. They have one pitcher who's at Notre Dame. They have another pitcher maybe going to Division I. And then in the state playoffs, Central Dauphin shut out North Allegheny 2-0. Back-to-back shutout losses for the Tigers. And Hempfield, on the other hand, they pounded Chambersburg 13-3, 28 runs in 2 playoff games for them. They are now marching towards their 4th straight state championship.
I bet you NA hasn't been shut out 14 innings.
Back-to-back. Like that,
a long time. I'd like to find that stat.
While the 15-0 was the 10-run rule. When's the last time that happened?
No.
But especially when you defeat a team twice during the regular season, you had to go into that game feeling confident.
Fans, if you're listening to Eddie today, he's hitting everything right in my wheelhouse. That's the George Abraham rule. You just said the George. Here's Hempfield losing North Allegheny twice. George said that third one.
Oh, that's
third one.
It's the most difficult game because you know what the North Allegheny girls were saying?
No, nothing to this.
We got them this year. We have them this year.
Beat
And
them twice.
Hempfield's practicing like maniacs for those 3 days trying to get ready for that game.
But they win 5 in a row or something. I mean,
they're that good too.
5 straight. It's a great run for them in WPL history to win, first of all, 5 straight WPL championships, and now to win a 4th straight in the state championship in softball.
Be awesome.
Be pretty amazing.
Dolphins sounds formidable too if they're shutting them out.
And 4A consolation, it was Knox 7, Thomas Jefferson 2. Winning pitcher Amanda Fisher, she had 3 hits. And Monica Gurley had 3 hits and 2 RBI. Aaron Luffy added a home run. And in the PIAA first round, Grove City 4 knocked nothing. Grove City High School pitcher Lizzie Malzak, she threw a 1-hitter and struck out 11. So that tells you how good Grove City is.
George emailed me something about Grove City, and we've talked about it in basketball many times. Do you do what you do best and not worry about the opponent, or do you scout them like crazy? Grove City does not scout. They said, and so they said we're going to play how we play all the time, and it worked 4-0.
No, just too bad. Grove City's flown off the radar for us, no longer covered by a local newspaper, and so we just find these things out from time to time if they're in a state playoff game.
That's it.
And playing one of the teams in our cover area. In lacrosse, 3A quarterfinals, Conestoga 15 to WPL champs Pine Richland 7. A great year for the Rams, winning their first WPL championship. When you get to that next level, there's so many good teams out there. And in 2A, Hershey knocked off Morris 13-8 in the quarterfinals. Mike Doyle had 5 goals, over 100 goals for his career. Doyle also had 9 goals in a 22-12 playoff win versus Trinity Camp Hill. He had a game earlier this year where he had 12 goals in the game. Mars finishes 17-4 with 4 straight WPL championships. Congratulations to Coach Bob Marco and his team on an outstanding year.
We talked about Pine Richland. Don't wave goodbye to them. Same thing with Mars. They'll be on our show over and over and over.
And I know I've said this. They've played lacrosse down in that part of the state longer. Yeah, not that I'm making excuses. They don't need me to make excuses for them, but it's a fact.
But a lot of those things, those teams, we do not know about them unless they're repeat winners.
But they've played longer down there.
And in volleyball, the PIAA quarterfinals, North Allegheny 3, Shaler nothing. North Allegheny now 21-0 and 44 straight match wins, looking for another state championship back-to-back. Next up, they have the semifinals versus Bethel Park for North Allegheny. It's their 29th state semifinal appearance.
I was hoping when you said that they would play two Eastern teams to find out how great they are because they've already beaten all these teams. None of these
Bethel
teams.
Park again. They beat them 3-0.
None of these teams play with them. So I was hoping that. So they're going to be in the finals. It'll be interesting to see how good the Eastern team is to play North Allegheny.
And now they won it last year against a really good Eastern team that beat them in some type of tournament, and they rebounded and beat them in the state championship. And since then, they've been on a roll. High school basketball news: Seneca Valley has hired former Butler girls coach Dorothea Epps as their new head coach. She replaces Todd Schoeffel after 1 year. He stepped down. Epps was 159 and 120 at Butler. And in college basketball, Slippery Rock High School and Slippery Rock University grad Heather Kearney. She's named the women's head coach at Western Carolina. In case you don't know, that's Division I. Congratulations to her.
Up the ladder. I remember when she started, was it Cal George at Cal, and just kept moving up the ladder. That's good.
She was a good player.
She was a good player.
Really good player.
Yeah, and I knew Dorothea was still coaching down there. I didn't know.
She'd taken the year off.
Yeah, okay.
And now she came back.
Now she's back. She's going to be the head coach.
She'll do a good job.
Seneca Valley. She did an outstanding job at Butler. Now our stories of the week. Let's start off with Major League Softball. Now, Major League Softball used to be Major League Baseball, but the Pirates and Brewers combined for 56 runs over 80 hits. Unfortunately for the Pirates, the Brew Crew scored 31 on 47 hits. They hit 12 home runs to take 3 or 4 from the Pirates, are now 28 and 30. Even Felipe Vasquez got whacked during that series. Paraphrasing Casey Stengel, can anybody here pitch? The Pirates' ERA is ballooned to 4.95, and the run differential, they're at a minus 68. So we talked the other day on the phone. I said, what's going on with Dallas Keuchel? I guess everyone's waiting for the draft to be over. So they don't know a draft choice. But if you're the Pirates, do you make a pitch for Keuchel?
Oh, yeah, but they're not getting him. So Keuchel has no thoughts about going to the Pirates. It's going to be the same group. Dodgers, Cubs, Atlanta. You can write the teams down. Yankees.
The Phillies.
So the Pirates
just got Jay Bruce.
They're not another pitcher. Hey, someone was asleep. They're only paying him $3 million.
Bruce is not good, but Bruce is not as good as any outfielder for the Pirates.
No.
The Pirates that's one position the Pirates are fine at. It's just that they're pitching.
They're just looking for some help, Phillies, because McCutcheon got hurt his knee.
They grabbed Bruce before McCutcheon. He got hurt yesterday.
Yeah.
Phillies need somebody.
But still, they just want a little depth. But don't bet against the Phillies going after
they got money.
Keuchel. They have the money. And a few other teams I don't think the Dodgers at 41-19 they're going to budge, but the Yankees.
But they need one. They need one pitcher, so they'll go get him. They need one. They'll go. But you brought something up in the middle of that talk. Vasquez, he finally blew a game, and that if he wins that game, they're fine. They're 500 still. When the best player blows a game, it balloons in Pittsburgh.
Oh, and that, you know that pitch was gone.
Yeah,
as soon as he made contact.
You know what though? I got to give this guy. He hadn't pitched in 6 days. That's the problem.
No, he had pitched the day before. But they brought him in the night before.
The problem with him is they either
can't.
They either can't use him, or they're not ahead and he doesn't get
exactly right. That's exactly right.
Would you use him now and again just to keep him sharp?
That's what he did the night before. Exactly.
We're going to talk about what's going on
tough.
here with
it's tough.
pitching.
When you're down 7 or 8 runs, it's hard.
He don't want to pitch either, probably.
No.
Probably not. Hey, the Major League Draft, Pirates take an Illinois pitcher, a 2-star athlete, outstanding football player, Gatorade Player of the Year in baseball, Quinn Priester. So once again, they take another outstanding pitcher, but obviously he's not going to help them right away. You're looking 3 years down the road.
They've done great with high school pitchers. If any team in the Major League, when they get high school pitchers, they develop them really well. The ones they don't do well with are other type of pitchers.
And they take those pitchers out of high school, and the rest of the major leagues are very happy when the Pirates do because they'll get them eventually.
Yeah, exactly.
The one guy they had 30 walks and 31 strikes. No one said anything. Seemed like a lot of walks.
And go back to Keuchel. I think some team, maybe he'll do it. Say, listen, we'll sign you the rest of the year. We're going to give you $12 million or $15 million for 1 year deal. Then you could sign. And a team like the Yankees to throw him $15 million. They don't think anything of it. But the Pirates need to reach a point where they have to do that. We said this repeatedly. At some time, at some point.
Hey.
I mean, Chris Archer's one thing. This guy's at another level.
Yeah, but here, like Albert said, and you said it a lot, they're not going to do it.
They're not doing that.
They're not spending any.
No.
If I just want to look at something they do. I call him. I say, Albert, I want to see something they did where you tell me, well, one good thing,
It wasn't a money
it
move.
wasn't to save money.
Well, they repeatedly, Huntington talks about developing these young players. But we've heard this time and time again. If they continue, if they slide here, they're going to be big sellers this time. That means Archer could go, Vasquez could go. And I know you, for me, I've watched enough of Polanco. Take away that word potential star away from him. He's a DH who belongs in the American League.
It's tough. It is tough. As soon as the Pirates give up on him,
He'll hit 300.
he'll go hit somewhere.
But in the American League's a DH. But
I know.
I love the Reynolds kid. He knows the game, every phase of the game.
He's only played
knows
6
it.
weeks, so I mean, he's looked good. But 6 weeks time,
What are you gonna do?
Because Polanco for 6 weeks was
He's
a
got
tear or
both
two.
of them.
And then he looked terrible in the series against the Brewers.
He has a couple, both the young guys in there tonight. He sat down Bell.
Okay, Josh Bell. Let's look
I
at
think
him.
they had to.
Bell, the National League Player of May. How about this select company? He joins Babe Ruth, 1928, Mickey Mantle, Willie Mays, and Stan Musial for the most total bases in the month of May. Starts off June, maybe fatigue has set in, 1 for 10 with 6 strikeouts. You sit him down a couple of days and give him a breather.
Well, they're sitting down tonight, but I sure hope it ain't fatigue in June. They start in April. It's just that he's
played in every game.
His car's going to say what it is. You never saw 50 home runs on his car. He's not hitting 50 home runs.
Hey, he said his feet, he's going to rest his feet.
Rest his feet. Now after I think it was Sunday's game, he's in a weight room doing some heavy lifting. This is my take when I hear this. All these injuries, oblique pulls, hams. I think these guys are lifting way too much weights and should be spending more time with stretching and flexibility. I'm not saying they're not doing that,
Eddie,
but all this powerlifting. I've never seen so many pitchers on a disabled list with these hamstring pulls, oblique pulls.
But you know what? Everybody lifts today, and they all stretch, but they do, I think, they do a lot of lifting. But I saw a stat last night of all the 100-pitch guys this year. Some guys are still throwing it. Not very many.
They made a point the other day about Tyone, who last year pitched 58 more innings than he did the previous year. And I never heard of this rule pitching coaches have. You should never take a young pitcher and have him pitch more than 30 innings of the previous year. You groom him and bring him along. So there's some thought that they maybe he pitched an extra 28 innings. I don't know. I don't know about that.
There'll be a new analytic.
There's new stuff out
There'll
there.
There'll be a new analytic coming. No, Eddie, that's what's happening. Everybody going to analytics. It's just that they don't prepare them that way. In the minors, 5 innings is the max they go. And so what's going to change when they get to the pros? Then all of a sudden you say, okay, we're going to pitch a 7. Coach, I don't go 7. I only go 5. That's the way it's going.
Brewers are in first place. Their starters average 5 innings.
Exactly.
Period. Now, more on Babe Ruth. The Dodgers outfielder, Cody Bellinger, the most total bases in a system 1 month since
the Babe
Ruth. Everything goes back to him. Those people want to argue his greatness. Just take a look
wasting
at
their time with
the measuring stick.
Yes,
with
wasting
him.
their time with me.
Hey, next stretch for the Pirates, a rough stretch here coming up with Atlanta and the Brewers. They really need some pitching, but here's what's going on in the majors. It's bombs away. In the month of May, there were 1,135 home runs, the most ever in Major League Baseball history, and 3 teams for the first time ever hit 50 or more home runs during the month. The Twins with 56, the Cubs and the Red Sox with 51. Here's my take on it. You guys jump in. There are too many teams, and the pitching's watered down.
I'm saying it all the time. I've been saying it for years. There are for sure 5 minor league teams in the American League. Now, I'm not sure in the National, but in the American League, there's 5 that sit out there that are. You look at their lineup. Now, remember, I follow baseball. Sometimes I'll look and think, who is this kid? He's never played before. All of a sudden, he's playing every day for Baltimore, every day for Kansas City.
They figured out last year to about July. Kansas City was just putrid. So was Baltimore. This year, they figured it out already. Like Vegas knows, it's 3-1 if you want to go against the Orioles
every night.
You can't make any money.
Too many teams. That's why during the 60s and 70s, and even the 50s, when you had 16 teams,
no, it was dominant.
It was
four pitchers.
Every team had 4 outstanding pitchers.
But think about it: 16 teams of 4. Now there's 32 teams of 5.
Yes.
That's an extra 100 pitchers.
But they can't come up.
Guys like Tommy Lasorda, he couldn't get to John Jancy, the Slippery Rock old timer. He couldn't get past Montreal because he had Koufax, Drysdale, and White.
If I hear This guy throws hard.
Oh, hard.
It means nothing to the pros.
Everyone threw hard.
Yeah, it means nothing to pros.
Koufax threw hard, but he was a thrower, and then he became a pitcher, learned to control the curveball, his slider, and learned to be a pitcher. Once again, I heard Mickey Mantle say this in an interview. He never worried about a fastball.
No one does. No.
He worried about the changeup and the slow curve. That's what threw him off his timing.
But that power lift you mentioned about 5 minutes ago, every player is trying to get to 97 or above. That's what and every player's trying to hit the ball 425 feet. That's why they're power lifting.
And the smaller ballparks that they have. We heard of the longest yard. Well, last week was the longest seventh inning, maybe, and who knows how long. The Yanks and Padres. In the eighth inning in New York, the Yankees set 8 batters to the plate. San Diego manager Andy Green countered with 6 pitchers. The inning went on. Who knows how long? You understand why fans now get annoyed at what's going on. San Diego did win 5-4, and we used to think Tony La Russa micromanaged. Nothing.
He started it.
He started.
He's the one who started. He's the one who started. Mr. Know-It-All. You know, he started, and it drives me crazy. Why can't a pitcher pitch an inning in the third? I'll have every big guy throw 3 pitches.
Oh, there's a new
3 pitches in the 7th inning.
There's a new one now with Pittsburgh. You can't bring the Liriano in with anybody on.
I heard that.
What? Think of this.
You know what they said? He threw him into a tough situation. He's a major league pitcher. He's facing a left-handed batter.
Oh, make my stomach turn.
Now, here's what's endangered. Gone is the setup man, and soon to go, what's happening is the closer. Here's why. They're doing closing by committee, like some teams did back maybe in the 50s a little bit.
I don't know about that. Is that happening? You sure that's happening?
It's starting to happen. Here's why. They don't want to pay that one guy $15 million to be
okay.
They'll pay 4 or 5 guys $8 to $10 million.
That's interesting.
And even San Diego, and some teams are saying, whoever I can use this day to close the game today, tomorrow someone else to close the game, and so on and so forth.
I think it's an analytic. It's another about the 3 outs, and they're wrong.
Another thing about that.
Closer by committee.
Eddie, I'm going to listen to some research on that. I believe it's the losing teams doing that. I think the winning teams, Yankees, Chapman, Hader, Milwaukee,
Dodgers,
Jensen.
Now, if you think
they all use one.
When the Pirates won the series back in '60, okay, but they had Elroy, and they also used Clem Labine.
He was in there once in a while.
And they also used the Freddie Green to close some games.
It was so different then. Baseball was so different then.
Tanner used Grant Jackson and Romo and Tacoli.
Yes, he did.
He was one of the first guys.
So he did a little bit by committee. But anymore, when you have these one-inning guys like Rivera, you give them, $20 million a year, they're not going to do that anymore.
Only the teams that can pay it. That's what I said.
And you're talking 4 teams.
Yes.
5 teams. Everyone else is going by committee.
And there's one team usually a year that hits pay dirt. They get lucky or whatever. It's the Twins this year.
Yes.
And until these guys demand so much money, and then the Yankees will get rid of Chapman and they'll find someone else.
Do you understand the Yankees side Tulowitzki? And no one knows that because he's not playing. Get hurt, but no one's saying they just threw $10 million away.
Yeah.
So
I grabbed Cameron Maben for $4 million.
Yes.
Pittsburgh would never do. He won one game.
And they shouldn't.
No. You know what? It reminds me. I've said this before. That the 3 of us are at the poker table. You 2 each have $10,000 to play.
I got 2 chips.
I have $100.
I get it. You're out.
I'm out.
You're out. We'll put you on the
That's why I stick up for Clint Hurdle.
Yeah, he is. He's done a great job.
He has no chance.
Especially with Talion and Williams out. I mean, they're starting.
But on the other side, he has to know there's no pressure on him either to win.
Oh, he has pressure. I thought
I don't think it's great
not from outside.
No,
but it's
internal.
That's what he has.
He did a fire.
I understand that, but
you don't get
from
to
a
the major
standpoint,
leagues.
They're not giving him enough to win.
Not at all.
Listen to Sunday Night Cochran and tell me that. Those idiots think he's got something.
Hey, how about this game? You were there to watch this game. Despite 16 of their hitters striking out, 3 players striking out 4 times, Kansas City beat Texas 4-2. What is this?
And they were happy.
Yeah,
they were happy. As I said, I would last 10 seconds managing because the 8th batter in the lineup tries to hit like he's a 3rd batter in the lineup.
2 of those swinging.
They all swing. Doesn't matter what count.
3 up.
Hey, let's go to a really serious subject here. A 4-year-old girl struck by a foul ball in a Houston game.
Put the nets up.
To net or not to net, and they're arguing about it. But I watched the game the other night, and there was a guy holding like a 1-year-old with him. I don't know why you bring them to games.
No.
And kids, I was at a Pirates Cincinnati game. Up high in the third baseline, there were 4 teenage girls for the entire game. All they did was
play attention, right?
They could have been hitting the head with a line drive.
Yes.
Wouldn't even.
Good
they
point,
paid
Eddie.
no attention to it at all.
Well, that's my wife. Not with the thing, though, but she's looking at. Hey, babe, he looks like Brad Pitt. She's not watching the game either.
Yeah,
so I have to protect her.
You better pay attention.
I have to protect her.
I will not. If you gave me a ticket behind either dugout, I won't take it.
No,
It's dangerous. It is
I'm
dangerous.
not going to
The
sit
good thing
there.
about Pittsburgh, nobody goes, so they can all sit by him.
You're right. Hey, the NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell said the preseason of 4 games is too long. Maybe wants to reduce it to 2. However, I see they're not going to give up 2 games where those fans pay for those exhibitions without increasing the regular season to 18. The Players Association vehemently against that. But 18 games is suicide.
It is.
For these guys.
Yes.
But that money drives it all. They're not giving up those 2 games unless they make that
It's driving
money up
everything.
some other way.
It drives everything. The thing they have to understand in NFL these days, they don't tackle anymore. They torpedo. They try. So if they go the extra 2 games, you're going to have people laying
They
out.
need larger rosters, which
big
might
rosters,
be
yes.
the selling point.
Go, instead of 45 and
They're
53,
gonna-
they
hey,
should go to 60.
They're going to play to March, add 2 games, and a bye. They're going to play to March.
Oh, terrible.
Well, that'll be interesting.
Terrible.
That's it.
That'll
I
be
mean,
interesting.
you know what's going to happen. They're going to put a pod in Europe eventually.
That's coming.
And they're going to stay there and
That's
play
coming.
the 2 or 3 teams that are like a dorm type situation where you go over there and play 2 games before you get
Come
your ball.
back.
Yeah.
Hey, you talk about dynamite in a shack. The Raiders, what are they doing? First, they get big chest Antonio Brown. Then they get cheap shot Burfict. And now they get Rich the Rabbit Incognito. One match, and this thing's going to blow up. What are they doing?
Nobody will root for them more than me. No, because they're trying to say we know more than everybody else.
Yeah. That's Gruden all the way.
all
The Mayock's the way.
and Mayock.
Mayock.
Those 2 are doing this so if they happen to hit goal,
Yeah.
see, nobody else knew but we did.
And they got some.
We
And
did.
Eddie, the truth of the matter is, I don't think they're going to be awful.
No, I don't think so either. But these guys are going to say, I wouldn't be shocked at all if Burfict.
You know this Incognito. Do you know? Have you
always
ever
good player.
read
He's
what
a hard-nosed
Have
player.
you ever read what he said to the last strength coach?
No.
I couldn't. We'd be fired.
His language
He's
was what he
nasty.
said.
It was nationality-wise.
Oh, was it really?
And
So he's done everything wrong
And when his
forever.
father died, he went in and demanded that they cut his head off.
Jeez.
They had to escort him out.
So this guy's just
This
a
guy's
talker.
off.
He'll fight anybody. Burfict would have to stay away from him. He'll kill
I'm
Burfict.
a perfect in this guy. They're going to say.
These 2, he'd kill Burfict.
Disaster.
Burfict's near him.
Disaster.
He's a dangerous guy. Let's go to the NBA. Golden State, Toronto tied at 1-1. Boy, Toronto blew a tremendous opportunity. They were up. I'm watching first half. I said they're gonna kill
Gonna get 'em?
Golden State.
Yeah.
Golden State in the third quarter, an 18-0 run. But look at the injuries. Durant missing his 3rd straight series. Klay Thompson scored 25, but he has a hamstring injury. So a lot more pressure on Curry if Klay Thompson can't play in their next meeting.
Why they Toronto beats them if Thompson doesn't play?
I would agree with you.
I mean, it's hard for me to believe that those surround Curry and say,
Yeah.
who else is going to do
Play a
something?
box of one. He played a box of one.
For 5.5 minutes, they didn't score.
And yet they brought a couple guys off the
He
bench.
told me, he goes, they don't know what they're playing, he said.
Yes.
They brought
okay.
a couple guys off the bench who played some great basketball.
Cook did, the kid
for
from
them.
Duke.
It's
Kid from
amazing
Duke hit 3 biggies.
what they've done. That's it for us. We've run out of time. We will see you next week.